Oh, we're good.
Guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. Hi guys.
Don't
Hello.
matter.
Welcome to another episode of Pals Polls.
Oh, that. Yeah. Okay.
Musical guest Chingy.
Chingy.
Yeah.
That's a blast from 2005.
Whenever I want to do what's the guy who does SNL's intros before
I
he
couldn't
died?
tell
What
you.
was his name? I forget. But whenever I try to do an impression of him, my go-to is Chingy. And I don't know why.
Musical guest.
Musical guest, Limp Biscuit. I just want to hear things.
Musical guest. Evanescence.
Oh, have they?
Surely.
During Daredevil, they must have. There's the
Got
comic
it.
book. I slipped it in right there. Comic book.
Because they were
reference. Hi,
big
guys.
at that point.
Oh, dude, wake me up inside, bring me to life.
Uh-huh.
That's all
Wake
one
me up
song.
before you go.
Yeah, great covers. Evanescence, great covers. See them live. They do random '80s covers. Hi guys, you might be noticing that we're shy 2 pals again.
Or shy Sean?
Yeah, Sean's too busy hunting ghosts in New Orleans right now. I think that's what.
Is that what he's doing?
I know he's down. He's down in NOLA. What he's doing, I don't
wow.
know. I'm going to assume it's ghost hunting. I did a ghost tour when I was in NOLA. My ghost toursman's name was Skip Guidry, which always sticks with
No,
me.
come on. Musical guest. Skip Guidry.
I like it. I wrote that down in my phone. This is like over a decade ago, and it's
Yeah.
stuck with me since. It's such a good name.
Yeah. That's one of those things that you're going to have to use for something later.
Hey Matt, let's hope Sean doesn't doesn't bump into him.
Who's that?
I'll tell you later, Cal. I'll tell you later. Yeah.
Okay.
Ask Matt directly. Let him tell you.
Matt,
But hi
Matt,
guys.
text me.
Hi guys. Marco is not here because he's too busy crumbling from the weight of capitalism.
Yep.
Just underneath the boot. Just like normally, Marco's all in for getting stepped on. Like normally, that's his MO. That's a typical
But
Tuesday for him.
It's gotta be fun. Is the thing.
Yeah. Usually Heels does it for him, but when it's the big boot of a salaried job, not so much.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you the only late night Comedy Central memory that I have?
Is it Crank Yankers?
No,
No. Okay. All right.
it's what was Dave Attell's show?
Oh.
He would just wander around cities late at night.
Yes.
The
Oh
only
man.
the only thing I remember from that show is he spoke to a guy and he says, "Holy cow, Matt."
Oh, did he message you on the
spoke
side?
to a guy. He sure did.
Oh.
Dave Attell spoke to a guy, and the guy said on camera, he said, "I love being stepped on, especially in stiletto heels. And I love it when she steps on my ball sack and twists."
Love it.
Talk about pals pulls.
Pulling them pals hard. Hi guys, we are a weekly comic book review. Not even reviews. We don't. Do we review? Would you consider what we do a review?
I don't.
I don't either. I don't. It's more of a discussion.
An impassioned chat.
Yeah, it's like if you went to a comic book shop where the people who also went had social skills.
Or didn't.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, well.
And they clearly don't have microphone edit. I say as
No.
I bite into an apple.
Hey, at least it's a. I'm drinking heavily.
Oh, I'll be doing that too. Don't worry.
So yeah. But guys, we got four big books to talk about. It was a bigger week than I thought. Apologies for anyone expecting a Daredevil 2 discussion. I forgot it came out this week, and I forgot it was also the jumbo anniversary size issue. Whoops, sorry. Fake Daredevil fan here. But just go on
you know
Twitter
what?
and complain about Daredevil because that's what everyone's been doing lately. So
You know what? I'll say this. I'm happy to come back to this selection of books. I I'll say this up front. Wasn't disappointed.
Interesting. I want to hear your thoughts about the weird Dark Horse I threw in here.
Okay, I don't know.
We'll,
I
we'll,
don't know
we'll
which
get
one
to
it
it. We'll
could
get to
be,
it.
but
So I don't read physically anymore because I value my space and have neurotices when it comes to physically collecting books and making sure they're perfect, and it just leads to anxiety. So I digitally collect, so I can't show you the covers like I would before, but I'll go through the slides real quick. Before I go through the slides are reminding me that you can also join us on Patreon, patreon.com/the comics pals, where you can subscribe starting at as little as $3. Kale, was it you that no, Marco put out a I forget who put out a newsletter this week.
Marco is this week. I'm next week.
You're next week. Oh, good. I have more time to come up with this drink idea. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can check out what Marco's newest newsletter was. If you subscribe to the $7 tier or higher, you can get into our Palin' Around, which me and Marco just posted our gruesome twosome episode that we did on Saturday, where we talked about just going out on the town and what that's like.
It
And the
was
differences between Marco and I in terms of that. And performance anxiety.
Interesting.
Interpret that how you will. It's not what you think it is. So maybe that's some... Trust me, I had to rein back our discussion on that because I knew where that discussion could go.
I believe you.
And I made sure to make sure it didn't go a little off the rails. But yeah, maybe that'll entice you to get into the Patreon. But the books we're reading this week are Batman, One Bad Day, The Riddler, #1 by Tom King and Mitch Gerards. We got hold on, let me clear my throat before I get to this title. We have Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, Death to the Mutants, how does this list? Okay, it's listed as AXE, Death to the Mutants, #1, by Kieran Gillen. There's 3 vowels and one consonant. Okay. Julia Villanova, I'm so sorry. And colorist Deja Lima, who I believe passed away recently, if I'm right about that. That's unfortunate. We got the Avengers we'll do a Powerbomb #3. I had these things mixed up. This is by Danny Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer. And the Avengers 1 million BC #1. Why even name it #1 at this point?
It's got 1 million in the title. There's no point.
Yeah. Can't they just name it like a special instead? Like, I don't know. But yeah, guys, that's what we're reading this week. Let's talk about Batman, One Bad Day. So right off the Batman.
Hey.
There's an audible comma there. I gotta say, I'm kind of bummed that the other 2 guys aren't here for this one. Especially Sean, because Sean's a big Riddler mark from what I know. He's a big Two-Face guy. Like that's his thing.
He's a big Tom King mark too.
I know, and a Mitch Gerards mark. This is the if there was like a cauldron of ingredients that can create a comic book, I feel like this might be something that Sean would really like.
Yep.
So this is a series of oversized one-shots under this Batman One Bad Day banner that are essentially trying to make the Killing Joke equivalent for other characters in Batman's Rogues Gallery. And we're kicking it off with a doozy with this Tom King, Mitch Gerards one.
Is this the first one?
It's the first one. Yep. I don't know what we get next week. I don't know the cadence of this either. Is it monthly? I don't know. So, but I can say after this one, and it's different creative teams for each one. So, your mileage may vary when it comes to the quality of it. But this was pretty damn good.
You know what? Yeah. So we did the Batman villain ranking not that long ago.
This year.
And I went to bat saying the Riddler is no good.
I think we were trying to get him into like the S tier, right? And you were like, some
B
tier at least.
Or some bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stand by that.
Okay.
This book does nothing for me in that.
In what, in terms of solidifying the Riddler as a,
as a
I guess.
as a a threat.
Okay, interesting.
Because I feel like the task was make the Riddler serious.
But wasn't that the task of Killing Joke? So like, I kind of get it, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I feel like Tom King spent some time with the Riddler, with was it the War of Jokes and Riddles?
Oh, he spent a good amount of time with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How different is that Riddler from this Riddler?
Completely different.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very typical monthly comics Batman Riddler,
yeah.
where he's
Um,
like, just kind of a shitheel,
mhm.
Like, sure, he can be ruthless at times, and he can be frankly annoying. But even in the War and Jokes and Riddles, I never really saw him as an equal to Joker. Even in that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's what this feels like as an attempt, a true attempt to do that. But the Riddler's just not that guy. He's just not.
He's not that guy. You're not that guy, pal.
Hey, hey, Fred, you're not that guy. It
Yeah.
just, especially toward the end, um, it just comes off as ham-fisted to me. I get what
Really?
he was trying to build to, and the threat that Tom King is trying to present, and it's presented very well. Like I was very engrossed in the story, but the whole time I kept coming back to, but it's the Riddler. Well, like, come on.
I mean, personally, me, I'm a big Riddler fan. I know in the Discord I've shared pictures of me as Jim Carrey Riddler when I was a kid. Like, I was big into that. Kale, actor who played him in '66.
Ooh,
This is in both of our brains. I know it's there. Begins with a
Frank
G is the last name.
Gershon.
Yes.
Did
Either
you?
way, you're in the
Did
ballpark.
you? I'm sure you know this. Did you know that he and Adam West used to go to orgies and be in character, and they would get thrown out?
Why would I know this? Why is
Yeah, that's
this one of those
old
facts where like
Hollywood
I'm
lore.
old Hollywood lore is the best. I love like the stuff with the guy who played the Wolfman. He was a real character. Yeah.
Matt Gorley in his old podcast, I was there too,
Mm-hmm.
spoke to it may have been his grandmother who had a relationship with the guy who played the Joker in the Batman
Caesar
66.
Romero?
Caesar Romero. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, he's so handsome, but he was a little, you know."
I love Matt Garley. That's
Oh, he's one of my favorites.
his Eater Giger
Oh
character
yeah.
is there were okay, we're getting off the rails here, but there was when Andy Daly did the Andy Daly podcast pilot project.
Oh yeah.
He did his what's his German character's name? I forget, but he did like a traveling the world thing, and he had
Yeah.
an episode with H.R. Giger, and it's one of my favorite podcast episodes of all time. Anyway, let's go to this Riddler. So yeah, so I felt like this was it kind of felt like the '66 Riddler if he just snapped, and it's not snapped in a way that's like he became crazy, became like the Joker, where he's just kind of just doing things out of chaos. Like this is a Riddler who realizes the only thing holding him back from being the most dangerous rogue in Batman's rogues gallery is riddles. Like riddles were the only thing stopping him. And the biggest riddle of all that would always keep Batman guessing is if the riddle stopped and the Riddler never told him. Then he's unpredictable. Then there's no motive, there's no pattern, and Batman can
Yeah.
never figure out what's going And I kind of like that because it's simple. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
all it does is it makes him a killer. Like
Yeah.
it makes him a criminal. So it takes
uh,
away
it takes away his
anything
name.
good about him. Like
But I like how like if you just say like that's the only thing stopping him, it makes him seem, deadly. Minus the fact that he has real weird neuroses. I did like the backstory in this with Riddler, which it's a little stereotypical. It's like, oh,
yeah.
he's a rich kid that got beat by his dad. There's a couple spanking scenes here, but I liked how there was just. I want to know what your opinion on the teacher was in this, because in my opinion, that teacher annoyed the shit out of me. And when the Riddler ultimately, spoiler, smashes his teacher's head into the basketball concrete, I was like, you know what? Sure, go ahead.
I uh I think what frustrated me about the teacher is that he had that Goodwill Hunting vibe. He
Yeah, I
was
was getting great
trying to
poet society too. Yeah.
trying to get the kids to, think outside the box or whatever. But for me, it's like, well, you can't do that on a test. Like, that's not fair.
No, that's what the extra credit was. Yeah.
Yeah, Edward was right. Like, that's not fair.
Hashtag Eddie was right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when that happened, like I don't want to say like I empathized with him, because you don't, because this book literally starts off with the killing of somebody, of just a civilian, but
Yeah.
Tom King does a really good job at like setting up this civilian's life within 2 pages. His family, his interactions with his family, even his coworkers and his wife, through like text messages and a phone call. That's pretty expertly done with as little screen time as it's given. To the point that when the trigger's pulled, I'm like, oh shit.
And first person, too.
Yeah, which I
Like,
thought
that was-
was very good, because then we get the 9 panel, typical Tom King 9 panel grid.
Yeah.
And then we get what, like 6 of them were just blacked out towards like the third or
Yeah.
fourth page.
Yeah.
Um,
I like
really-
I like that use, that particular tool.
yeah.
It leaves you hanging. It leaves you wondering what's happened. I like
It kind of leaves us in the dark the same way Batman is, and I like when we kind of get to be in Batman's mind without it being written out to us. It's just because we're given the same clues and evidence where we don't know anything more that Batman knows, and he doesn't know anything more than we know. So we kind of be on the same level as him through the story. I do like that. The bit where Riddler's in Arkham, in like, it shows that the Riddler's greatest weapon is his mouth. Really, it's being able to talk, because he knows everything, and he knows everything about everyone, and knows everyone's secrets. So I really like that bit. There was a good bit where Riddler calls out a couple of the guards by name, and like 3 of them are the iFanboy guys.
is that the
yeah.
reference there?
Yeah, because
Okay.
Tom King's pretty close to them. But I was like, oh.
See, okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio, pointing at the TV sort of meme.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understood
yeah.
that reference.
Okay.
Yeah. That was good, but like that whole shootout there, I like how Gordon cannot control him, and Gordon just gives up by the end. He's like, fuck it, it's your problem. Honestly, everyone kind of gives up at the end, and I can kind of see where maybe, Kefis in the chat mentions this divisive, but I can kind of see maybe that being the divisive bit.
For me, especially in that shootout scene, it's just like, why wouldn't they just kill him?
I think he was dodging. Wasn't that the thing?
That's not what I got.
Or at least I thought he dodged at least one shot, which then led to a mess of shooting because they thought they were shooting at each other. Or I don't know.
See, yeah, my thought was they turned on each other to protect their own families or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. I think that's ultimately what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like, why not just take him out? It just didn't. That just didn't. That's when it started sort of getting out of hand for me.
Sure.
I was a bit at that point. I was a bit like, why are these SWAT guys afraid of the Riddler? Like, he's making all these threats. Maybe they're idle, maybe they're not. But like, he's the Riddler. Come on.
And by the end of this, the Riddler technically wins. He's running free throughout Gotham. Nobody wants to touch him because they're afraid of him.
Yeah.
And if Batman even gets close to him, Riddler's going to randomly kill a civilian or a Robin. And, like, he names every Robin by name,
Yeah.
even Cassandra. And, like, if Riddler thinks he can even get a finger onto Cassandra Cain, he's got something that's unrealistic to me. But Riddler doesn't need to use himself to kill someone. That's the other thing, too. You know, he can employ anyone. So it's believable to an extent. What'd you think of the end, though? Because if they wanted it to be like the Killing Joke.
Okay, now we're talking the end. I got to the end and I said, okay, all right. I like the end.
Yeah, because the whole
'Cause
premise
it-
is that Batman can't just put Riddler in Arkham again because he's going to come out and just kill more people indiscriminately the more he gets in
and
the
he
way.
can't touch him.
Yeah. So Riddler even says, the only thing you can really do is kill me, and I know you won't do it. So the book ends with Batman showing up behind Riddler and choking him. Is that what we see? And then
Well,
fades to
no,
black.
we don't even see that. He shows up behind him, and it fades to black.
Yeah. Which call back to the beginning of the book, which I like. I like a little
Yeah.
bookended theme. That's always fun in my opinion. But literally, that's the obtuse nature of it is exactly what the Killing Joke was.
Yep. I like that a lot. I thought that was very effective.
Me too. Yeah.
Especially because, like, despite all my criticisms, like, you can feel Batman in this conundrum,
He's
you know,
pissed.
and he's pissed, he's helpless. What's he gonna do? And then he does it, or he does something.
He does something. Yeah. Yeah. And I like the one thing I hope that the rest of these books aren't. I hope not every one of these books ends with, you know, like, oh, did Batman kill that person? You know, like,
See,
it's a little too much.
I sort of get the feeling that's what they're going for.
Just to make everyone the best version of their villain self to the point where Batman is forced to break his rules.
I mean, looking at some of these creative teams, I don't know about the best version of them, of themselves, but
Do you have any of these that you are excited for?
I'm very excited about the Catwoman one, but I'm mostly excited about that for the McKelvey art.
What are the other ones? I'm trying to see.
I
Here we
would
go.
be interested in Ra's al Ghul and Clayface.
Okay, Two-Face got a pretty good team. Marco Tamaki and Javier Fernandez. Okay. That's the one I'm interested in. The Mr. Freeze one.
Maybe Bane, Josh Williams, and Howard Porter.
Ooh, Howard Porter's good. Mr. Freeze only because Matteo Scalera's on art. It's Jerry Duggan on writing duty, but I love Scalera. Oh, there's a Clayface one too. All right, okay, yeah, I'm excited for these. These should be fun.
I don't know. We'll see.
Ivan Rice on the Ra's al Ghul one. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And these look like they go all the way until March. Is it February? March.
Yeah.
Ending with Ra's. Raish, what do you say?
I say Ra's. Raish doesn't make a lick of sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either. It's got to be Ra's. All right. So, poll pass.
You know what? Pull.
I agree. Poll.
This was a lot of fun. It didn't do anything for my opinion of the Riddler, but it was a cool story.
Yeah. Kind of out of continuity too. So like you don't need to be keeping up to date with anything. Do you know who the Riddler is? Do you know who Batman is? That's all you need, really.
You're good.
All right. So next book we're going to go to is AXE Death to the Mutants. Number 1. This seems to be so. What this is essentially just a one shot, kind of explaining the things in between the panels that we didn't get in the main books, which is like typical event comic storytelling. Let me get the creative team up here. So the creative team is Kieran Gillen is the writer, Julia Villanova is artist, with Dijo Lima on colors, and VC's Travis Lanham on letters. I know you weren't here last week for Judgment Day 2, 3, 3. Are you up to date on what's going on? Do you know what's going on, or did this answer your
Only
question?
through this, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I figured this event is something like 37 books.
I think
I'll
more.
keep up. I'll read it as I go, and I'll piece it together.
You'll get context clues out of it. Yeah, which I think is how these things are meant to be written in some points, but
Yeah.
especially the tie-in stuff. I thought it was all right. I thought it was okay. This is really
okay.
kind of showing like with the main book, it's mostly been like X-Men heavy. It's like, oh, we're on Krakoa the whole time. We're going to show you what the mutants are doing, how they're reacting to things. This was like the Eternals tie-in, is what it felt like. This felt like it could have been an issue of Eternals by Kieran Gillen. It even has like the machine narration boxes in the background. Most of our characters in this are our core Eternals cast. And honestly, I have been feeling like we weren't getting enough Eternals in the main book. So this kind of filled in some of the blanks for me, which I don't think it's necessary reading, but it was enjoyable for what it was, honestly.
You know what? It caught me up well enough, and I thought the the god waking up and throwing down his gauntlet was cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we got
I
that
guess,
in the main book, but like that's what you're seeing here. Yeah, you're seeing the same thing.
yeah. I like that. You have 24 hours to justify yourselves. That rules.
I also like how this is kind of showing us our Eternals crew, and how they're not the villains really. Like that's what this felt like when it was pitched or when marketing first came out for it.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, how is this going to work? Oh, the mutants are probably going to be, what are they called?
Victims?
No, what do the Eternals hate? Deviants. Deviants. They would be
Deviants.
deviants, and then it would be Eternals versus X-Men with Avengers intertwined.
Yeah.
Yes, that is kind of what it is, but the Eternals that we know are not really bad per se. They're trying to fight against their programming, and it's fun seeing them kind of come up with that programming. It's cool seeing Druig, his machinations kind of falling apart in this. Because now that he's unleashed Uranus, like that's a big deal too. I like Icarus because Kieran Gillen writes Icarus like a total dummy, even though he's like the quote unquote Captain America of the Eternals. He's like their guy. He ain't that bright. He's a bit of a meathead. And in this, he comes up with an idea and it kind of works out, and it's cool to see that happen. It's like, oh, he actually leads for once, which is good to see. I thought the art was pretty good. It's not. It kind of is in that same vein as Isada Ribic's art. So it kind of fit what the Eternals branding is.
I think the coloring helped that a lot.
Yes, definitely.
But I feel like the art oh yeah, that's right. The main Eternals book is Asad Ribic.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I like this a lot better. Then never mind what I was about to say.
Yeah, no Captain Marvel in this book. Thankfully. Yeah, I thought this was fine, and they didn't like oversize it. They didn't make this like an $8 book, where they can just do all kinds of little stories with each character. Like this felt like just another issue of Eternals, which I enjoyed. It's also like relatively standard $3.99 cover price, so like it's not like they're trying to like upsell you on some kind of event book. It was fine. If you're reading the Eternals book, I recommend reading this one, honestly.
Yeah. I guess I better start picking up the other stuff.
Are you liking this so far as a whole? From what you've read?
From what I've read, which
for a bit, so.
Yeah, from what I've read, yes, but I mean it's only been what I've been on the show for.
Sure.
So
yeah, so you've only had the opening salvo, really.
Yeah, this was an interesting catch up. And I'm interested to see what Death to the Eternals means. So.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I don't have much to say about this, but I do have stuff to say about the next one.
Well, quickly, Murphy asks if Gillen's Marvel work is still inferior to his creator own a year in.
I don't I wouldn't put it that way, honestly. Like as much as I love like Once and Future, which I'm still reading month to month, fantastic book. Kale, you're reading that?
I'm not.
I don't want to say that's a U book, but I kind of think it's a U book.
Damn. All right.
It's Gillen and Dan Mora writing a modern interpretation of Arthurian lore and all the different versions of Arthurian lore there are, and how it affects England as a country in the real world.
Now, why do you think that's a me book?
Because you live
Because I
there.
live in England.
No, because you like Dan Mora and
And Kieran Gillen. All right.
yeah, yeah.
I'll take a look. Yeah.
And it's got monsters and big monsters, and like Beowulf shows up and the Green Man shows up, not from It's Always Sunny, but like just different lore shows up. Robin Hood. It's like all kinds of mythical lore that all gets melded together, and all of it looks really scary. Oh yeah, the main character does look just like you too. It's kind of oh, now that I'm looking at you right now, it is strange how much he looks like you. And then Die is another Kieran Gillen book, which I loved.
That I would very much like to read.
Yes, yes, very good. But I wouldn't compare the two, Matt. Like writing for yourself and writing for big corpo Disney they're two separate things, and I think it's two different muscles you have to flex, honestly. Because I've liked Kieran Gillen stuff since he's kind of been back at Marvel, with his X-Men stuff, his Eternal stuff, and this. There hasn't been anything where I was like, no, that wasn't good. Like, it's all been solid to great, honestly.
See, I haven't been crazy about his X-Men stuff, with the exception of Destiny and Emma Frost and their
like
books,
their issues of Immortal X-Men or whatever.
Yeah. But Eternals up to this point has been pretty good,
Surprisingly good too. Because
the weak point in that is Assad Ribic, so
which in my opinion is saying something. So Matt, I agree, but I think that was riddled with he wasn't as well versed in writing comics at the time. It was pretty early on in his career when he wrote X-Men originally, and also I felt like he was hampered as being the guy who wrote fill-in stuff between events, really. And also the X-Men were just nobody cared about the X-Men in terms of like editorial at that time, which that's just my opinion. Hey, Snake. How's it going?
Snake, what up, my man?
You want to talk some wrestling, Cal?
All right.
Let's talk about do a Powerbomb, number 3. Another issue by Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer. So we're finally in this Mortal Kombat like realm, and in this tag team tournament where we've been thrown into the mix. This is our first introduction to what this tournament is, and the first round.
Orangutans.
What were they called? The Orangabang? Is that what their tag team name was?
So I think so, yeah.
Something like that.
Orangabong.
Yeah. And Catherine, thanks for reminding me of my body type being described as orangutan. I will put that on my dating profiles and see where that gets me.
Listen, there's something for everybody.
Hey, I just had to check up Ancestry.com to make sure I was talking to someone. Never mind. I'll talk to... That's... the apps have been a little weird for me right now. But...
I mean, listen, not for nothing. You were married before.
I got it in the bag. I have experience.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's
it's like
what I'm
New
saying.
Game Plus for Elden Ring. Like, I got all my equipment still. And all my skills. Like, I can do dishes and stuff. So, like, I was just...
Listen, that already makes you a catch.
I'm in therapy and I know how to do dishes? Yo, come on.
Come on.
I'm domesticated, ladies. Okay. Orangutans. Wrestling.
Orangabong, this guy.
That sounds violent, and I'm into it.
You hope so.
So I still love this book, but I was a little cooler on this issue than I was the previous two. And I think I was... Kevin said, counterpoint, you host the podcast. Yep. I know, that is apparently a red flag, according to a lot of prompts.
You ain't ever gonna get laid.
That's why I do not promote this on my dating apps. I'm not showing a screenshot of the Comics Pals Twitch stream. Like I don't need them going from Niagara to Sahara. You know what I mean? So let's just keep it that way. But this issue of Do a Powerbomb, it was still really good. I still really enjoyed it. But because it was so focused on the action of this wrestling match between our two main characters who don't know, or at least our main character doesn't know she's wrestling with her dad.
Yeah.
They wrestle two orangutans. But I think what I really liked about the previous two issues was the emotional core in it. And we get that, I would say, in the first third of this book. You know, we get a little more of that those emotional beats. But this really is like an action book. This is like a Spicer, Danny Warren Johnson art extravaganza.
Showcase.
Is what this issue is.
Yeah.
Again, DWJ can kind of really draw wrestling moves, and knowing exactly what part of the wrestling move to like take a snapshot of to really bring home what that move is. And like
put it on an orangutan.
Yeah, I know. Like these guys have the body types of King Kong Bundy. You know what I mean? Like, is that a reference
No.
you get? No.
Nope.
Nope.
I nodded like, yeah, okay, King Kong. I get. Oh, hold on. Nope.
Nope. Oh yeah, I didn't realize I made a monkey reference there, or an ape reference. So they're not monkeys. But yeah, the fact that they can kind of showcase the wrestling, which is a very kinetic and movement oriented sports entertainment.
Yeah.
But still do that for a static page is impressive, honestly.
Are some of these finishers, are they have to be made up, right? Like
The
King
orangutan
Arthur.
one is
Well, I'm also thinking of King Arthur's table.
the King Arthur's
At the
table.
end, we said
That's very similar to, I believe, FTR's Big Rig, which is a special move, a finisher move for another tag team in real life. I'm not sure. It's more of a variation on it. The cool thing about tag team moves is like
Okay.
you can take two different moves and combine them in a way. So there
Okay.
are ways of going about it. I don't recognize the orangutan finisher. Let me see if I can find it in here. It was a lariat into. It was essentially a top rope German suplex into a cutter. Which is pretty brutal. But yeah, I like how each of the teams that were shown that double page spread where we're kind of seeing it felt like a character select screen of like
that was cool.
Mortal Kombat. It was great.
Yeah,
Showing the
that was
tournament
cool.
bracket and all the different tag teams, and it shows like their tag team logo, the members, and it lists their finisher and what world they're from too, which I thought was really cool because it's like, oh man, I really want to see what all these guys do, and like you can tell like each of them might have a specific style. Like there's the lucha robots or robo luchas or something like that, which are like luchador robots. There's these there's like a Japanese what do they go by? Let's see. They go by Puropak, which is probably like strong style Japanese wrestling. So I'm kind of excited to see where we go with this. Yeah, I mean it's still great. This is gonna be like a great finished hardcover when it's complete.
Yeah.
Because this is
Yeah.
what like Daniel Warren Johnson does. He did it with Extremity. He did it with Murder Falcon. Like they're kind of like one and done stories. He hasn't really gone back to extend those stories. So this is gonna be a real fun one once it's done. And even as a non-wrestling fan, I think you're enjoying this, right?
Oh, I'm having a great time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be hard not to. You know,
Well, if you're
we've-
blind,
even so, I mean, you know,
good paper it's on.
you could get if you could get somebody to, you know, even just read out the words, you could be, you know, the sound
It's
effects,
true.
you could be into it.
Get a good Foley artist, or maybe a Mick Foley artist in this case. That's a. Did you get that one?
I
Mankind? Nothing? No.
no.
No. Okay. Well, all right.
See, I at
That was
first
a
I
decent
pictured
joke. That was a
Dave-
decent joke, and I'm kind of bummed that.
I
maybe the
pictured
chat will
Dave
hold.
Foley, and that
Really?
didn't work. Yeah.
No, that doesn't work for the joke I'm going for. But yeah, I recommend this, guys. I definitely check this book out. I'm trying to see, like, I don't know if Kathis is reading it. Catherine, this is a good one to read.
Yeah, Catherine is reading this. She said she picked up 2 and 3
Oh,
at
good.
comic shop today.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely pull. This book rules.
Oh
And
yeah.
frankly, if you pick it up now, there's enough exposition that you can
Yeah.
be caught up.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
it's not impenetrable even at issue 3.
Yeah, even like Kefis in the chat says, "I know shit about wrestling and I love this book." Exactly. And I'm curious to see like once this is done, I wonder if this will like turn anyone over to like maybe I should check out wrestling. Maybe I should watch a couple clips.
I've been sitting at that point for a while and I've just not pulled the trigger. And there's probably very little you could
You
send
like
me to
Ultraman?
make me. Yeah. Yeah.
That's like wrestling.
It's oh man, it's so like wrestling.
Yeah.
It rules. Uh but wrestling doesn't have giant dinosaurs.
You'd be wrong. There's a wrestling promotion called Big Kaiju Battle where they're all in kaiju costumes and they wrestle in a ring.
Well, listen, fuck.
That's definitely down your alley.
Forget what I just said. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go.
There's one guy who's a giant panda bear.
Oh,
Yeah. It's bonkers.
incredible.
It's bonkers. Yeah, so definitely check this out. Also, Mike Spicer. I don't know, like, has this guy won an Eisner yet? Because I love Mike Spicer on colors. Everything Mike
He's
Spicer
gonna-
does, I'm like, yo.
If he hasn't, he's gonna this year. Like
I described. I was
He's
texting Matt. I don't know
top
which.
guy.
I don't know which colorist we were talking about. Maybe it was Alex Sinclair, and I described Alex Sinclair as a colorist having the nuance of a pack of crayons you get at a TGI Fridays when you need to color the kids book. Spicer's the other end of the spectrum. Like this dude pulls some weird choices out. Even like the design, like you don't see bright pink, purpley logos really. You know what I mean? Like, because that doesn't really mesh with a lot of covers. So, like, do you do variations on it? No, they're sticking to the logo too, and like it fits. A lot of non-primary colors too throughout this that I enjoy.
well, and even on all the other books, like his
Swamp
color
Thing.
choices on Swamp Thing are insane.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Alex Sinclair, thumbs down, according to Matt Murphy. Well, he listens to the show, Matt, so he's gonna hear it. I don't. That's not true. I don't know that. Let's talk about Avengers 1 million BC. This is proof that humans walked with dinosaurs. I think this proves that evolution is wrong.
It says so in the Bible. I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Something in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should do a review on the Bible one day.
Ooh, we can make it a. How many books are there? 24.
I think so.
We can do just
series?
maybe
Can
maybe
I
we should
throw
make
it
it a
on the
Patreon
book club?
special. Yeah.
Can I make the what is it? The Bible, the graphic novel, as a choice for the book club?
I have
is
it.
a thing.
And you know I have it.
It's a thing. Honestly, it's not that bad looking either. Like I've seen worse.
You know what? Yeah.
It's
I've
decent.
seen worse in bigger books. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're talking about Avengers 1 million BC. This is kind of. Yo, did you see their I think it's Warner, whoever owns Universal, I think owns Austin Powers rights. There's like buzz of making a Dr. Evil movie specifically.
No.
I read it online. I think
They've
saw
been
Variety.
they've been trying to get Austin Powers off the ground since
Maybe this is the
3.
way they
There's
do
no
it.
Way.
This is the way they
No,
do it.
There's no way.
Pivot a bit. I mean, R.I.P. Vern Troyer. You're gonna have a key component missing, but you know,
See, I don't think you can do it.
man, I think those movies still hold up in a bad way, but they still hold up. Anyway, Avengers 1 million BC. This is kind of like a one-shot issue that kind of ties into Jason Aaron's overarching Avengers storyline with his Avengers ongoing and then Avengers Forever as well. And this is by Jason Aaron with art by Kev Walker and Dean White on colors. And I haven't seen Dean White in a while on colors.
Yeah.
And Dean White does some wild shit with this book. Non-Dean Whitey things, I feel. And I've like Dean White, I think was the artist, the colorist on like Aaron's Thor run with the Soderivik, which
Okay.
good, but
Yeah.
it fit for what it was. I know you're not a big Ribic guy. But there are some weird choices in this. It is a kind of a one and done story about this original Avengers team, the Prehistoric Avengers, which consists of Agamotto, the original Sorcerer Supreme, some Black Panther, a Star Brand that is awfully like a Hulk. I think the original Iron Fist, a Ghost Rider that can ride a mammoth, the personification of the Phoenix, and Odin, which is a weird team, and it's been kind of this
Oh,
story that's been there.
did you say Black Panther?
Yeah. He gets
Okay,
jobbed
sorry.
out in this, but yeah.
Yeah, he sure does.
And this is the story about how Thor is born. That's kind of why I wanted to throw it on here, because I was hoping for some actual on paper, on panel conception, but we didn't get that. It's kind of more of a spiritual. I was waiting to see what your facial reaction that would be. It's more of a spiritual birth of Thor. So canonically, Thor's mother is Gaia. Matt, you can't be writing that in the chat, and I can't talk about it. Yeah, Gaia is spiritually Thor's mother. So seeing like, oh, where are they going to retcon Phoenix being his mother? How do they do that? This is how they do it, and they do it in the most comic booky way possible, where it's more of her essence and not really.
They don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not really Thor and Phoenix hooking up. In fact, Thor, Odin and Phoenix does not work at all, because I think like Odin is on like the Andrew Tate. He's like the original Andrew Tate. Just like pure like incel, like I'm gonna push my alpha male mentality on you, woman, and you're gonna marry me even though I didn't propose to you. I just sent you to my wedding, and like you're gonna do it there.
I only heard about this guy this week, and I've been trying to figure out how I could shoehorn it in. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. It I
Go ahead and read
I
this
thought this
highlighted
was
message.
fine. The highlighted message from Matt says commentate W. See, I would say that's uncommon.
What the hell does that
Say
mean?
like, a win. W is a win.
No.
Oh, you're not part of the what is it, like the Alpha Network? Like, see, he's got some kind of pyramid scheme where you can spend like $50 to get part of like his Alpha's network to make you not be a beta. I don't know what it is. I'm just saying, why couldn't we go back to when incels were like mystery from that VH1 show, The Pickup Artist? Like the original incel was so much more entertaining than these like new age incels. Anyway, Odin, original incel.
I'll just be a beta. It seems so much easier.
It probably is. It probably is. I thought this was fine. What I really liked about this was
Yeah.
I love Kev Walker. Me and Sean gushed about Kev Walker's art on Predator last week, which was like one of the starring parts of that book, which honestly pretty damn good issue. This is some good ass Kev Walker art in this. That opening scene where Laufey is hooking up with some bug lady from the negative zone, and like this swarm of bugs is fighting around. There's like a couple of double page spreads with these, the Avengers of this era fighting these weird swarm of bugs. It's almost like a proto annihilation wave in a way. I really enjoyed it from an art perspective, and Kev and Dean White really works with Kev Walker here, and I don't remember ever seeing them together, and I could be totally wrong, which knowing atypical artist colorist pairings is not my strong suit. But there's a lot of like greens and oranges. Like even if you look at this cover, like that's the kind of color palette you're getting in this book.
Yeah.
Purples. It's again not really typical capes and cowls superhero stuff. And like for that alone, I enjoyed it. I also am personally still keeping up with all of Aaron's Avengers stuff, and apparently I'm in the minority for that.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Murphy asked earlier if we care about this at this point.
So I'm keeping up with it. Do I care about it? I can't say I care about it. Is it fun? Yes. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if somebody said like it's just canceled all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, well, that's fine. I had fun with it while it lasted,
Yeah. For me, I don't know what's going on in Avengers other than what's happening in Judgment. or whatever the fuck that book's called, the event. But a team of Avengers from the year 1 million BC is so unappealing to me that it makes me roll my eyes.
Interesting. Can I pitch
Like,
you what the actual story is and see how far
no.
your eyes can go?
Okay.
Mephisto puts together his own league of villains with multiversal characters. There's like a Killmonger and a Destroyer armor. There's a Green Goblin who has the Spirit of Vengeance in him. There's a Red Skull with the Venom symbiote. There's Doctor Doom, who is somebody, I forget what it was, but they're just going around the multiverse, killing every iteration of the Avengers to wipe out the Avengers from the multiverse.
Ugh.
Nothing.
That's no. That's bad.
It's like for me, it's like just it's like steak and eggs comics, you know. Like it's not great, but it's also like how is that much different from what like the Kang Dynasty used to be, you know, or you know, fucking Onslaught. That's a bad reference. Not Onslaught. Not Onslaught.
I think the thing that gets me the most is this concept of this character meets this character is a whole new thing, and they're gonna go back in time and destroy all the Avengers, and the Avengers in other places are this thing meets this thing. Come
It's a
on.
kid playing with his toys. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I enjoy it. I don't know. I try to be. I'm a big Jason Aaron. I don't want to say apologist. I would say more of a mark for Jason Aaron. So, I'm always for it. Did you like this at all? I know you mentioned like this week was a solid week.
It was fine. Like you
Okay.
said, I didn't have a bad time. I wasn't excited about reading it, and admittedly, it was better than I thought it would be.
Okay.
Um,
There's a reason I picked
for
this one. Sean wasn't going to be here because I knew Sean would be like, "Yo, I don't want to read this."
yeah, it was fine. Like I don't like the Phoenix. I don't care about an Avengers team from a million BC. Like to me, that's a bad idea. In it, I think Sean has said, and I completely agree with this. It takes away what's special about the Avengers.
Fair, fair. But like, I feel like the Avengers has always done this though. Like, remember when there was like the first Avengers team was like Sabretooth, like Dominic Fortune, Bloodstone, and Nick Fury or something like that. It was like, oh, all right,
I
I
mean,
guess we're doing that too.
no, no, I don't remember that, but the sentiment is the same. Like, it's like finding out they got the Avengers name from Captain Marvel's jet or whatever the fuck. Like
Mm, mm.
it's I don't need that.
So Catherine
But
says,
so
yeah.
please,
No, go ahead. I was saying Catherine says that she saw this in the store today, was vaguely intrigued, but didn't capture her enough. That's a kind of fair summation.
yeah, yeah. Ultimately, I thought the Phoenix Odin stuff was a little ham-fisted.
That's Odin for you.
I well, but even the Phoenix stuff, like her reactions to Odin felt way overblown.
That's fair. I think that there's been more of their interactions in the comics previously, so like maybe I just have a little more context for that because they were a couple for a bit. And just
Yeah, and
Odin's just an asshole. So
I get that, but it just seems like she, I don't know, flips shit for no reason.
she's the Phoenix. Isn't that the point of the Phoenix? Like Phoenix comes to Earth to
No,
help things out, and
the
then it
point of
flips the shit.
the point of the Phoenix is to die.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the pull over the mystery of Thor, I think, is a disappointing letdown. And frankly, it's false advertising if you ask me.
It's comic book advertising, is what it is.
Yeah.
Just lie to you on the cover. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I still would not say pull. I would still pass on this, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm a completionist,
I-
especially when it comes to story, so I wanted to read it. But if you're just like, if like Catherine, if you saw this in the shop, like I don't blame you for not picking it up.
Yeah. Like on its face, there's no way I would pick this up, but I'm not like it was good enough that I'm not upset that I read it for the show.
Okay, that's fair. So those are the books we read this week. We had comics tag, but Marco, again, he's ducking.
Bitched
He's
out.
ducking. He's ducking this Batman Grant Morrison discussion. Maybe he can read more of it.
He's probably got to take the time to read it all.
Well, we only tasked him with reading like 3 issues or whatever. Now he's got an extra 2 weeks on it, so like he should be done by now, honestly. If Marco can make it again next week, we'll just start over. We'll just give him a pass or whatever, and then have it bite him in the ass somewhere down the line. We'll get our revenge.
He'll have to be punished.
Yes. Well, don't say it that way. Again, something he might be into. Do you need me to take the Morrison Batman omnibus and do like a Riddler's dad situation?
His enjoyment of the punishment's not my business.
Fair. It's just the act of the punishment is what needs to happen. It's consistency. Yeah. Anyway, we do have some pals polls for this week. I am, or for next week rather. I am picking up Judgment Day, number 4. I want to say it's got to be 4. I'm looking this up right now because I apparently did not prep much for this. It's got to be 4. Judgment Day, number 3. Oh, I was wrong. We're only at 3. So this is going to be the halfway point of this new event. I also really just like this Mark Brooks, Jean Grey, Iron Man, and Mercari cover.
Yep.
It's good looking. And Damage Control, number 1, comes out next week. This is Will Robeson on art, and I believe it's the guy who wrote The Goldbergs, that sitcom, writing this. So there's a TV writer, which TV writers, 2 comics, somewhat of a shared skill set there. So Adam F. Goldberg and Hans Rodionoff on writing duty there. And I just like this cover. It's got Quicksilver, Nightcrawler, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Ghost Rider. Like, did you just pick my favorite characters all of a sudden, minus Quicksilver? Like, it is a ragtag group of people.
The entire C list of Marvel.
Yeah. I also like how there's a legacy numbering on it still. So it's like Legacy 16. Like, do you need legacy numbering if it's only at 16? I think that's overkill.
Funny, though.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what this could be. I have no idea what it could be, and that's kind of what I'm interested about. I believe it was Marco that picked Swamp Thing, so this is going to be the final issue. Possibly the final issue of this Rom V run. So we'll probably talk about that, much to Matt's chagrin, next week.
And mine.
Because it's
the last issue. So there's probably something for it.
You can't skip the last issue, you know?
Yeah.
We don't need Swamp Thing blue balls. We don't need green balls, you know? We just edge all the way there and then no finish. But Marco also picked, and this was also one of my picks originally, Tales of the Human Target. This is a kind of a series of Human Target stories with different artists. So Tom King writing, Kevin McGuire story, there's Michael Janin story, Raphael Albuquerque story, and a Greg Smallwood story. Like, this is a team of artists. And honestly, kind of excited for the Kevin McGuire stuff, especially with how heavy the JLI has been in the Human Target book.
Yeah.
So, always a fan of that. Kale, you wanna read some more Detective Comics next week with issue 1000 and something.
1064.
Yeah, that one. 1063.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I enjoyed Rom V's first issue of Detective. I'm interested to see what's going on. I don't think we know a ton. Oh, Sean's here from NOLA.
Oh, say
Sean,
hi to Skip Guidry for me.
Have you run into the woman who shall not be named?
Voldemort? No.
I enjoyed it. I think I maybe enjoyed it a little bit more than everybody else, but yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
And then you also want to pick up the Rogue Sun Volume 1.
Now, pickup might be generous, but I didn't like the first issue of this. I believe I said in our review that it felt too tropey and first issuey. Um, and I recall feeling very much like the person that was writing didn't. It felt like they were relying too much on other things.
A little tropey.
Um,
I know
yeah,
tropey in
too
itself is
tropey.
tropey.
Yeah. But recently, someone in the Discord, and I forgive me, I can't remember who it was, but they have said that Rogue Sun is actually the best stuff in the Radiant universe right now.
Hmm.
So I might dip my toe back in for that.
You see, they're coming out with like Radiant Black action figures too.
Ooh,
There's one thing I can give this Radiant Black universe: the designs.
those fucking suits, man.
They're pretty good,
That's
man. They're good.
that's the thing that disappoints me the most is I love those suits. Man, it's cool.
Or like that
But I
black
hate
light issue.
I hate that book so much.
Would you have liked it if the original character was still, like the writer was still a superhero?
I liked him a lot more, but for me the book is just meandering. It was just meandering. I guess I haven't read it since whatever
Had tie-ins
last issue we did, but
to Kyle Higgins's Cal series. I don't know if you ever read his Cal series with
I read some of it. Yeah,
yeah, one of the characters showed up apparently. I'm not up to date on it, but I follow enough people on Twitter to know at least tangentially what's going on. People seem to like it, so it's just not me.
I gave up.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it anymore.
But those are our pals polls, fellas. That's what we're reading next week. You can guarantee we'll be talking some Judgment Day next week. That's for sure. Final Dance Slot, Fantastic Four, I think, is next week as well. Yeah. If you guys got some interesting things you want to read next week, or you maybe want us to check out, please let us know. Let us know like Tuesday. That's fair. A Tuesday, right? Mm-hmm. Tuesday, especially for
early
DC.
Tuesday if you can't.
Yeah. Well, what does that mean to you? Is that like late Monday for us?
Well, that's probably like before you're awake.
I don't know time. Whatever. Just let us know. If there's something you want us to read, let us know. Unless it's Matt, then don't give suggestions. Thanks, Kevis. Kel, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, interesting. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TotoInto. That's TOTOINTOW. You can find my work at kaleward.com.
I guess we don't do this for Pals Polls typically, but I'm losing. I lost.
Not at all.
I just remembered that, but I already started. So
that's that's where you threw me. Hey, Tyler, I have a question.
Yeah.
Where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, on the internet. Okay, I thought you were gonna ask me in real life.
Well, yeah. Make sure you throw your address in there too.
Sure. Like Sunday, I'm definitely gonna be checking out this Muppets exhibit down in Brooklyn. Or is it Queens? I always forget.
There's a Muppets
every so
exhibit?
often there's a museum where they do like there's a lot of like movies and TV stuff, and they have a whole Henson exhibit. With,
what?
Like, actual puppets and stuff. Whenever my depression gets to like a real bad point, I just go there and I reset. I'm good.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. They got a Walking Dead exhibit now too, which.
Wow.
And they're showing a 70mm screening of Sleeping Beauty, which I've never seen, so I might want to check that out.
Interesting.
It's a good old. That's some good Mary Blair art. If you ever want to talk to me about like original Disney animation artists, I can talk to you about that.
Huh. So. I could not talk to you about that, but I would listen to the conversation.
Oh, dude, those early those like Snow White, Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. The backgrounds in them are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Then you get a little later on, they start reusing it, and then it gets messy. Early stuff. Oof, good looking shit. Mary Poppins, one of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah, and you can follow us on the Comics Pals everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. When I remember to post, Facebook, I guess that's the little thing, right? I think it auto posts there.
Tell your mom to follow us on Facebook.
Say hi to your mother for me. And you can follow. You can catch us on Twitch every Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about Ezra Miller. Apparently, that's apparently what we talk about every week. I think we have more to talk about this week about them as well. Or you can catch us at this time, 6 p.m. on Thursdays to talk about whatever books came out the day before. So with that, that's Pals Pulse. And we will see you, Kel.
Next week.
There we go. I thought you lost your touch there for a second. I was kind of...
I gotta get back in the saddle.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. All right. Bye, guys.